And so we want them to come and deal with us and be accountable for the people who are dying on the streets who have nowhere else to go. And so if you guys call, what's his name? Ben and Sean, and let them know who come down here and
Thank you guys so much.
Good afternoon, boys and girls, friends and lovers, children of all ages. This is the Carla Madison Rec Center. We are here right now, indoors, because it's a warming center. It's a place that the city and county of Denver have opened up to people to stay warm during the day. But what they don't have are emergency shelters according to the contract that the city has to provide emergency services and shelter for these people at night. We're gonna possibly come and go, but we're gonna start with the video. Maybe save some battery power in case we gotta deal with some things later. We'll tell you that we've got some very awesome and amazing people here. Councilwoman, Denver Homeless Out Loud, Monday Night Mutual Aid Advocates. It's a little warm in here. We have observers, we have staff. The staff have been notified to call their bosses. We are inside the building. Can I have one of those blue sheets? Now that we're live?
Yep, here we go.
Thank you. Community takes recreation center for unhoused people to survive cold. It will be 9 degrees tonight, and the city of Denver refuses to open up a recreation center as a warming shelter for unhoused people to stay after 9 p.m. Unhoused neighbors are freezing, at risk of losing limbs to frostbite, catching hypothermia, or dying. We have met too many unhoused people this winter who have lost limbs to frostbite. We will not stand for this when there are warm public buildings ready to be opened for people in desperate need. The city has an existing contract with Bay Auto Enterprises to run a pop-up emergency shelter at recreation centers in extreme winter cold. They had this contract all year and have never used it. The reality is the existing shelters are not accessible or workable for countless unhoused people. Extra cold nights, at least 100 more unhoused people go into shelters for the night than on warm nights. This overmaxes the shelter system where people are sleeping in every nook and cranny. This winter, we have witnessed people show up to the shelter and be turned away for lack of space. We have witnessed people show up to the shelter and be told they could not stay because they're on an asked to leave list. We have witnessed people stuck on the streets wanting to be in shelter but not wanting to take the risk of going to the existing shelters where they have had dangerous experiences. Denver needs to open recreation centers as emergency cold shelters in this weather to create a safer, more accessible space for all who need it and to decrease the chaos at the existing shelters on these cold nights to help people survive. The city should be responding to the cold by doing all they possibly can to make warming options available for everyone based on everyone's needs and circumstances so no one freezes outside. This means the city needs hotel vouchers for people who cannot do any kind of group shelter for many different reasons. The city needs to increase street outreach so that anyone who is on the streets and needs warm gear or a ride to a warm place gets it. And the city needs to stop all sweeps in cold weather. There is no justification for taking unhoused people's only gear to stay warm and kicking people out of their tents, forced to move their property blocks in this freezing cold and snow. We are here at Carla Madison Recreational Center because the city is not doing what is needed to protect our unhoused neighbors. So we are forced to remain in this building to keep it open ourselves, so all may survive.
They deserve these spaces. They are public spaces. And is it true that
I said, in 3 short,
pop-up shelter? No, absolutely not.
I still have
Okay, cool.
so she got me to go to their other
These guys are a little confused. So,
Hey guys, I'm so sorry, but
It's
Rec
just-
Center was closed.
did he get one of these?
Doing.
I wrote that.
Huh?
Just
I
so
wrote
you
that.
guys, just let you know, we
wrote
just
that?
close at 9.
Give him
The
one.
warming center is during operational hours.
Here, would you
So
like
I
to
was
read
just letting
this?
You guys know.
No, thank you.
Thank you.
It's the rec center.
What is your name, sir?
You can't have it both ways. You cannot have the operational center and rec center at the same time. Because they're allowed to come in here because of the rec center. Now, if you're gonna run it, run the night center at the time you need to run it. No, not a problem. You got 9, 10, 11.
That's a great question.
So the manager of the building has been informed.
I'm with you. I'm not allowed to be filmed by any others. But what I believe he's going to say and what I've been instructed to do is after a certain amount of time it turns into trespassing and I'll have to call to PD. That's just what I believe are my next steps. And I just want to be as transparent with you guys as possible. I love what you're doing. I support it. It's just that's what I'm supposed to do.
We're being peaceful and we're just advocating for those who need a warm place to go.
I love it. I love it. I wish we could staff it to accommodate
But
everyone.
the city does have the money
Yeah,
to staff
they
it.
have the money to
They
staff
have the contract with enterprises, right?
Okay, I have no idea.
Okay,
Yeah.
but your supervisor, I think,
Supervisor, they'll
does.
know that.
Yeah. Maybe we can talk, because we've been asking for this all winter. Yeah,
Great.
we're tired,
Yes.
Really tired.
Yeah.
The house are tired and sick and frostbitten.
we don't want to send them out anymore. There's no place to
Not
go.
tonight.
I'm with you.
Not tonight.
I don't want to ask you. I didn't want to ask you guys. I didn't want to say that closing.
Put it off to somebody else.
Yeah.
Check on somebody else.
What's your supervisor's name?
Ben Henson.
Okay.
My name is Ben Escalante.
Oh, okay. Did someone call in?
I'm going to call him right now.
Okay, okay, we appreciate that, thank you.
Let us know.
He first say that he has 2 weeks, or what did he say when he first came?
So we gave him a sheet. That's what these were demands. Demands?
Yeah, they said they may have to call it who would be trespassing. Explain where the unhoused have other place to go.
There's no other place for the unhoused to go tonight. The shelters are full. Again tonight, as of last night, they were
Yep.
about this time. So no, I'm not sending these folks back out in the cold.
So we'll stand our ground.
Last time the cold snap hit like this, how many people did the organization or mutual aid communities that you know of, how many people did you put into hotel rooms, or what did you do? Can you tell us what the last cold snap looked like?
Yeah, the frigid front that came through, we got 75 folks into rooms.
75 people were roomed for the
The duration of the
duration of the storm.
And community members did that, not the city.
No, not the
Not
city.
their partners.
So
Community
that was privately
donations.
funded?
Privately funded by a community that obviously
By
care
you.
about this. So, and we fed them, and those days on them, and that when they were getting checked out, we had medics come and check them out for frostbite and other things. So that's something very easy to do. The city could easily do that.
So what's your goal tonight?
To stay here all night, to not make these unhoused go back outside.
We know it could be one phone call, right, to host, and they could say, yes, we'll fund leaving the rec center open.
And this building right here
They could
could-
do this building right here.
Yeah, they could get the staff here, we could be the staff, however they want to do it. We can make it happen.
So you'd be willing to be the bodies? Because that's going to be an issue, right? They're going to say there's nobody to do the job.
Oh, we would be here.
You would be here.
We have been. This
You
whole
have been
winter.
here,
We
'cause
have
you've been going door to
winter
door,
supporting people through the
10 to
storm.
10, should I
Yes.
say?
10 to 10, yeah.
Giving warm soup, right? Getting sleeping bags out, getting people in hotels, getting them heating supplies, keeping people alive.
Yeah. Right now, we don't have the funds to get them into rooms this time. We have funds for heating supplies, and we've been getting it out there, but if I go 10 to 10, I'm not getting only a fraction of the folks. So we need to make the city do something. We need to open up warming centers for 24 hours.
24-hour centers.
During the cold, like below whatever they want to make it at. Below 25.
Tonight it's going to be a low
Tomorrow's
of
going to be a
10.
low of 25, and unhoused folks will want to be outside, But no, tonight it's 10. Right?
10 degrees
10
outside.
degrees, yeah.
Now, I understand that Boulder has emergency warming shelters.
Yeah.
Are you familiar whether they're running their system tonight?
I don't know for sure. I imagine so. I don't know.
I haven't heard either.
Okay.
Some of the unhoused have told me they were. But I can't
So
be,
there's a rumor that if they need to get somewhere, they could go to Boulder, kind of thing.
And there are some other folks that are born and raised in Denver, unhoused at this point, that are going to Aurora to their shelters because they are accepting them. Last night, they took the bus to Aurora out of Denver to get inside from the cold.
Wow.
Denver is failing.
Denver
Denver-
is failing.
Okay. And so, how many people do you think need shelter here tonight? That are here.
Tonight, there's a lot of folks that will want to come maybe after the police leave, because the police will probably be coming. Unhoused don't want to take that chance, right? And there are some unhoused that don't want to leave their belongings. So right now we have about 8 or 10 maybe unhoused here, using the bathrooms and enjoying being warmer. I don't know what'll happen. I mean, most of them do not want to stay to be arrested.
So people don't want to go to jail, but they want to live.
They want to live. They don't want to go to jail. They don't want to be out here. On the way here, I just heard again from one of the unhoused, I don't want to be out here. You hear that all the time. They don't want to be out in the streets.
All right. Well, we thank you. I think somebody's here to talk to you. This gentleman right here.
Oh, yeah?
I'm guessing.
Did you see the press release?
Where's that? Look, I have one of those. Oh, yes. I want his.
Yeah. Well, let me see what you can do. Do you have any blue sheets? I feel like there's people outside doing things with signs. There are people outside with signs, but we gotta have a double person setting to do that. So we have to figure that out. That's right, folks. We have taken over.
Supervisor and we're trying to get I believe what my next steps are. It's to call DPD.
Is supposed to be equipped with officers with temperature. So if they have those, then give them to them.
That's Councilwoman. See the Baca advocating. They're indicating that and still indicating this option is to call DPT. It's only been 20 minutes. And they're still on the DPT. I think he has, and he's waiting to hear back from me. Councilwoman, yes.
Great. Thank you so much.
This is just a little bit of live, folks. Hi, folks. Let's see who's in the live. Do I have a chat? Let's see if I can see it. Line Straight, Human Love Solidarity, Robert Gauss. Good to see you all here. Robert Gauss, you are now a moderator.
Yes.
There are members of a variety of community groups here. Denver Homeless Out Loud, city government, Monday Night Mutual Aid, just some of those that are present right now.
So I'll let you know, I've been with the city full time since November. I don't have his contact information. I have an email for him, and that's about it.
And then Brenda Fisher and Chris Connor, they have the power to
I've never heard of those names. I'm sorry.
yeah, maybe Candy does.
Potentially. Yeah, she's welcome to give him a call.
He's diverted. He continues to divert. I don't want to call anybody. I don't want to be responsible. But just so that you see, there are a variety of bodies here. It's like I want to go home. These people don't want to go home. They want to sit and watch and hang out and probably be moral supporters.
Of course, and I feel bad. I feel bad asking you guys to not leave or even announce like a protest. So. Yeah. Yes. I don't know what. I'm going to get back to my supervisor.
You can leave Parks and Rec feedback right there. Contact the Denver Gov, 24-hour shelters in the middle of the cold. That would be a good answer. I'm well, Councilwoman. How are you doing? This is, it's quite interesting to me because as CBS 4 shows up, good to have you here. The reality is that this is like the third or fourth serious cold snap. We're going to have more cold next week. We're in March. It's traditionally the snowiest month of Denver's weather. Why hasn't this?
I see that the camera's not supposed to connect.
Why hasn't the city or Bayard opened a facility in any of these inclement weather situations?
I don't know that Bayard is contracted to open facilities. I know that
They just to run them?
I know we contract with them for our laundry, for our showers. I don't necessarily think that they have a space to open up, but the city should be opening up our warming centers. And if you follow us on socials, we're always asking them the minute we get notice that there's going to be a cold night. We're saying, what are you guys doing about warming centers? Are warming centers happening? They do not believe that warming centers are necessary at night because and so that's a frustration for us because we believe that all of our public spaces should be open as warming centers when we have nights like this.
Can you tell me, can you think of a couple of scenarios off the top of your head that maybe you experienced from your constituents that are situations where they wouldn't be able to be in a warming center or in a facility.
Well, we know not warming centers or
But like
shelters.
a shelter, I mean, yeah.
Yeah, well, we have constituents who, have lost limbs, lost toes, because they couldn't go into shelters with their partners, with their siblings, with their pets, with their belongings. And so we understand why people don't go in. Some people have been kicked out of shelters and can't go in. And we don't know the reasons they've been kicked out. We don't know if there is truth to the allegations of discrimination in shelters, but we've asked for those issues to be addressed. And if you listen to me question our contractors
Yeah, absolutely.
during evenings, like, we don't get good answers about what's happening in these shelters, about the accessibility issues in the shelters. And for me, that's why I'm here. If we were getting good answers, and if we knew that there was good oversight of the shelter providers, then I wouldn't be here. I would expect our unhoused to go to the shelters too. But given that we don't get good answers and we have constant allegations that raise serious concerns, I expect us to do more. I expect us to have warming centers open.
Yeah.
And this is a public space and it should be open to people, knowing that there is a population here that isn't going to make it to a shelter. What's the closest shelter to here?
I would say probably Jesus Day downtown.
Right, and we have someone, who has a wheelchair here. How
do
are
we
they
get
going
them
to get
there?
there? How do we get them there?
I personally, not 2 months ago, found a family friend that was actually a child of a friend of mine in Denver, lost, homeless, mentally disabled, like has had mental health problems all his life. And the first time I took him to a Jesus Saves, like when I went out to go get my camera, because they said he couldn't be there, the executive director was standing with him outside, like, here's a bus pass, you can never come back here. And if you're unhoused, to be told that there's no more places for you, right? It's just the epitome of what, of the worst that we could be doing for people.
And with the amount of money we have coming in, with
the COVID funding and everything.
There's no excuse for it. Like, there's no excuse for it, especially on nights like this. It's not every night.
No, it's 10 degrees outside
Right.
tonight.
Right.
We thank you for your time.
They're not here.
Anything else you want to say?
Yeah, I just talked to some of our unhoused friends that are here.
You're right, it does get a little loud, so we'll go back there just a little bit.
It's good.
What?
He told me he called TPD, so something to pass on for people who are trying to get out of here.
Oh, he just picked you out of the crowd and decided to tell you?
He told like 4 of us. I'm not
4 or 5 of you?
No. I mean, he just asked them if he would tell her. So I guess she did. All right, so DPD is
Been notified.
notified. They may not come.
Maybe not.
I mean, they have a history right now of a 30-minute response time.
Except for this.
No, they'll be here fast because it's actually not an emergency.
Yeah, because it's like
Right.
harassing people.
Yeah.
Well,
It's the things they enjoy to do. Harassment.
we are close to District 6 headquarters.
That's
Roll right over.
I know that they've been a little stressed out with the federal testimony this week.
Yeah. Yep.
So,
There's Dennis.
Averia.
again, just unhoused members of our community. They're seeking maybe hotel spaces. Allegedly, the police have been called. And are there people outside protesting?
Yeah, I got some signs.
So are you like the middle gatekeeper between doors?
I'm just gonna let people know when cops go.
Got it.
I got that door propped.
Well, that's what I was hoping, is I want to come back
I don't
in.
like to be called a gatekeeper.
Well, that's a good answer. That's a good answer. I'm gonna check though. That's what I want to do. I want to see what was going out here. Get the whole story. Whoop, that didn't work out so well. Wondering if anybody out here would like to be interviewed? Huh? Just shouting. I just walked out.
If it would be helpful.
Yeah, well, I mean, we're covering the story. Just tell us what's going on today. Here, why don't we come back over here so I'm not getting everybody on the, that doesn't want to be on camera or whatever.
We're outside this rec center because we're asking. Here, I can wear the mask. We're outside this rec center because we're asking the city to open all of its rec centers for 24 hours in cases of cold temperatures so that unhoused people have another place to go that's more easily accessible, a safe place where they can stay out of the cold, avoid frostbite, or even dying. So the city should open this rec center, and even if it saves one person's life, it's worth it.
Okay, that's a great answer. We appreciate that. Are you familiar with other places that are opening their rec centers or other solutions other communities are doing to help solve this problem that you want to see emulated?
I think that there's a lot of different towns that do have 24-hour warming shelters. There's a lot of towns that do pop-up warming centers also during the day to take care of people. And there's towns, including Denver, that have pursued housing first policies to get people into accessible, low-income and free housing to help people have a more permanent solution as well. So that's something that could just be expanded on a greater level. And also in one town I was living in at the time, they had a mobile social worker service that would actually go out to folks and help them get connected. Can I give you a ride to a warming center? Can I help overcome the barriers that you might have to getting housing? So there's a lot more I think the city could do, and a lot of other places.
Yeah, so what do you think about the fact that the last cold snap, these mutual aid communities housed like nearly 100 people for a week?
So I was helping drive people around for that, taking them to a hotel.
Thank you.
Yeah, but it actually made me very sad to do because although I loved getting to know everyone that I met doing that, and I love getting to know people, all my neighbors housed and unhoused, that's something that the city should be doing. That's not something that neighbors should have to scramble to do. You know, literally people in tears because they were trying to think, how can I get my friend at a hotel as well? People putting maxed out credit cards to get one more room for 3 more people. And just the emotions of that, that's something the city should be taking care of. Nobody should be scrambling and wondering, how am I going to survive the night? How am I going to stay warm tonight? That's something the city should be doing. And there's lots of other budgets that are spent on, you know, tax credits for developers, on policing, lots of other things that could be spent to do that instead. So I was really glad to meet everyone. I love everyone who did that and everyone I met, but I wish that it didn't have to be done that way.
Fantastic. I appreciate your time today. Thank you very much. Thank you for being out here and letting people know what's going on.
Great. I hope it was helpful.
Yeah.
And I did okay.
It is extremely cold temperatures. Take care of your poor.
Yeah, we've actually got the whole family out here. So
That's great. It's 9 p.m. and freezing cold. Where do we go? We need 24-hour warming centers
I should
now.
also add, I'm a member of this rec center. And so really, I'm paying taxes and I'm paying dues. And that's what my dues should be going to, is taking care of the community, because it's a community center.
Yeah.
And I think everybody in the neighborhood feels the same, housed or unhoused, that we should take care of one another.
That's fantastic. That's fantastic. So, what do you think? What do you think our odds are tonight? Do you think that that the city will answer the call? Are you hopeful? What's your odds?
I'm hopeful.
You're hopeful?
I'm aggressively hopeful.
You're aggressively
There's no
hopeful.
other choice.
Yeah, I am too. I think that the fact that we've sat out here for at least 5 minutes since the police were called, nobody showed up yet, tells us that this might be a little bit more of a higher urgency than they, that we're calling to attention. It does help that the news crews from all over have showed up to observe this today.
Because if any one of the people who would kick the folks out in there, if they were left on the street with nothing to survive tonight, they'd want that warming center open. So I hope they have a heart and keep it open.
Yeah. Well, also that like at least 90% of the folks that have come out of the rec center as community members who use it are fine with people staying there. So
Yeah, they've been very supportive. Everybody.
a lot of people are asking, what can we do? This is like a good idea. How come they don't open the rec center? So
That's a great question. Why isn't the rec center opened more?
Every single person we talked to who's a member who's walking out was like, they're not already open. Why wouldn't they keep it open?
Wow.
Everybody was like, yeah, let them in.
Yeah.
So neighbors, clients. I mean, probably the people who work there are confused too.
Right.
It should be open.
Yeah, and really, I mean, with all the things going on in the world today, we recognize like it's not cool to be out there just killing people.
Right.
And when we fail to respond, it's the same as responding in a negative manner to encourage somebody's life to be taken.
Amen. If you can do something, then you have a duty to do it.
Right. Yeah, and if we don't, then we're sanctioning their death.
Yeah.
And that's the reason I'm out tonight, right? Is because I see that, and I think that that's a story that has to be told. That we are sanctioning the death of people who had an accident, who had an illness, whose rent doubled in a year, tripled in 5 years, and their wages didn't. Right? So I think all of these things are important, and I think it's great that you guys are out here on a sidewalk sharing and telling people that, as we say, syphilis, shit is fucked up and stuff. Yeah.
And it's like you were saying, this is just a temporary time. It's literally the least they can do.
Right. It's
much
like
less cap rents, much less required.
Much less give
more
housing.
Yeah,
Just
it's
people.
literally the easiest thing.
And it's not even, right now, it's just one night. I mean, it could be open a lot more, but.
well, it's supposed to, it's supposed to snow next week too.
Sure.
They should do it every time.
Yeah.
That it's cold at night.
Yeah.
As long as we can.
Tara.
As long as we can.
Hi. I believe the answer is that if they're able to staff the facility to let people stay inside, then there are people probably like yourself who would be willing to stay here all night as a Denver resident to make sure that people were not dying in the streets.
100%. And I think we could find at least 100 people that would be willing to come over here and help out the city and make sure people aren't dying or have frostbite.
That's right. And Tara, you do Cats Not Cops 2 times a week.
Yes, we do. We're out here today. It was very cold, and it's really tough. We ran out of blankets, ran out of hand warmers.
So you ran out of the supplies to help people stay
Ran
alive.
out of supplies today. Yes.
All right. Well, thank you. Thanks for coming out, showing up.
Of course.
You know.
Thank you. We have
Thank
more
you,
people
folks.
here showing up.
Yeah, there's more people coming.
Absolutely.
The news is here, right? They get to be covering this on the 10 o'clock because they bounced it out at 9. So that was perfect timing. Right? That's the answers there. All right, folks. Well, we got to either check our battery life for a minute. We're doing all right so far. Yes, we are just out here on Josephine and Colfax. It's 10 degrees or so outside. There are news crews and cameras everywhere. Tarps and tents and storage devices. Wow, faces I didn't expect to see. That's usually how it goes. Yeah. I gotta shut this camera off for a little bit, folks.
What's up?
We'll come back in a little bit. Break for a minute. The police have not arrived. It's been more than 15 minutes since they were called. There's a small group of protesters hanging out outside the Carla Madison Rec Center. And for all intents and purposes, the facility is being occupied. As you can see, my name's Brian. Sean? What's your, you're inside staying warm right now.
Yes.
Do you have a tent? Do you have a tent somewhere?
I do. It's not set up right now. I just got one.
You just got one. How long can I ask how long you've been out on the streets? About a year now? And how do you survive in the cold weather? You what? You don't?
Yeah, it's horrible.
So,
I thought I was going to die a few nights.
So what are some of the things that you try to do to stay warm outside?
Rubbing alcohol, this heat.
Using fuel systems in your tent.
Yeah.
Now the city says that this practice of using fuel systems and tents for people to stay warm causes a lot of fires, and that's danger for our city. So, do you think would you be in a shelter? Why is there a reason?
Yeah, it's the shelters usually full. And when they're not, you've either got somebody trying to fight you or steal everything you got when you're asleep. So I've lost everything I've had too many times.
Police is here on the block.
I've lost everything I've had too many times.
So it's a fight to be in a place with just a bed or a mat on the floor. You gotta basically keep one eye open to take care of all your properties.
Most definitely.
So you heard that the place was going to be open today,
Yes.
and were you here before they closed?
Yes.
And you found out that some people were going to be here, so you decided to stay longer,
Yeah.
stay warm as long as you can.
It's too cold to be outside.
So what do you think if they say you have to leave, or they're going to keep you warm in a jail tonight? What option sounds better to you?
Jail, honestly.
You better chance of surviving.
Yeah.
I'm sorry for your situation.
It's nobody's fault. It sucks.
Yeah, we do breakfast on Sunday mornings. My friends do Monday nights, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Fridays. So, I pray for your success, and I pray that this event today results in something that means you don't have to go outside.
Thank you.
I'd rather not see you in a jail cell today.
Yeah, myself either. Thank you.
Stay warm.
Appreciate that.
Allegations are that there are more people here than we can see right now. We'll go inside and talk. It's nice and warm in here, man. You just step out into the foyer and it's cold. Yeah. A lot of people. Oh, there's snacks and food. How would I know there would always be food?
Yes. Would you like a snack?
I may.
They're very good. They're very fresh.
Yeah. John, I saw you posted the other day. It was like 5:30 in the morning, and it was snowing.
Oh, yesterday, yeah.
And they were taking people's possessions and their property.
Yeah, yesterday was a really rough sweep. Yeah, it was 15, 18 tents at 26 in Lawrence, and even though it was like 8 degrees when the sweep started, they were pretty brutal. Like, they were moving really quick. The city officials were in a bad mood. The cops were not engaging or like being helpful or communicative at all. Multiple threats of arrest to advocates. And then there was a woman in a wheelchair in the far tent on the south side of the camp that they forced her out maybe halfway through the sweep, about an hour and a half in, about 7:30, 8 o'clock. She didn't have shoes on. They made her sit in her wheelchair outside while they checked the tent for something to incriminate her, to make
drug paraphernalia or
food, any sign of a rodent, whatever they always look for. And her partner wheeled her down to the mutual aid table, and within 5 minutes they decided that the tent was not salvageable, that woman wasn't going to be able to move the stuff. They did not ask advocates to come in and pack anything up. Bobcat came and crushed the whole thing.
So she didn't get her ID, her birth certificate, or...
Well, I'm not sure what she lost. I didn't, but she did do a video interview afterwards with another advocate that was at the sweep, explaining what had just happened, and then we took her over to St. Francis, and then we later got her in a motel. But no motel vouchers were given out to 20 people in a very clean camp. It's probably the cleanest camp we've seen in 3 months in a sweep, and yet they still had to go out yesterday morning and be pretty rough, really rough with them. It was unnecessary. Those are the types of mornings when sweeps need to be fucking canceled.
It's 8 degrees outside.
It's 8 degrees when it started, yeah, and then it went up briefly, and then, as you know, yesterday the temperature just kept falling until it started snowing. And yeah, that was the state of the day. Like, it never got above 24 degrees, 22 degrees. And then it started snowing. It was snowing the whole morning, but like it started heavy snowing maybe an hour after the sweep finished. And those folks were still wandering around looking for a place to put up their tent again. When they had a perfectly good spot, warm, safe, like, and then they had to tear it all down and rebuild it back up in the snow. So yeah, yesterday was a really fucked up morning. Like they all are, but some of them really stick out as unnecessarily heinous and cruel. And yesterday those were hard days for everybody.
Well, you know, it's hard to hear these stories, but it's appreciated when we can have somebody like yourself, you know, that's breaking it down and explaining, because people out there don't understand, right? That they're getting shell shocked right now by watching the news about the things that are going on in Ukraine, and I feel like a lot of the advocates, like like ourselves, are out there every day because we're saying these things that you see on TV, they happen in our backyard. Only there's no bombshells, right?
And the news ain't covering it. So somebody's got to.
We appreciate you for your advocacy.
Thanks, man.
Absolutely. This is as we come on the 10-year anniversary, by the way, of the Urban Camping Ban. Look at that food, man. I mean, you can't just go to it. They got pastries. Oh my goodness.
Oh, good.
I haven't eaten a dinner yet.
Yeah, those wraps are really good. The tuna salad.
Don't offer that.
Okay. Note to self, I won't.
Whatever's convenient.
Whatever's convenient, exactly.
I heard a Colombian government official say that there was no sense in canceling the gas with Russia if you're just going to turn to Venezuela.
Venezuela, Iran, Saudi Arabia, yeah.
Kind of interesting. They're like, sorry, we tried to kill you a couple times, fire you a couple times.
Well,
we need all of them.
Well, it was interesting because like one white note was that he was like the blockade of Venezuela according to the U.S.
Are they out there? Still no police. So realistically, as long as we're peacefully running the shelter.
Yeah. You're also still understaffed. I'm wondering if they even want to send people over here to monitor, you know.
They paid, I heard Baydar got a contract to have it open, but why it's not open at night? Especially on night like tonight. You know what I'm talking about.
I know, John.
Yeah. Especially on night like tonight.
They're hiding in the back.
Yeah.
Ben's still on the phone. Ben's trying to get somebody to come. Let him go home tonight.
Yeah.
Poor man.
And you know, we get scared of the job. I was in the city, I used to work in the gym. I used to call me a gym rat. Oh man, I did that for about 5 years up there. And one time they paid me double. I work in my R2, recreation leader 2 out of school. I get off of there at 4. I can go over to the gym and work there, do the maintenance over there. I did that shit for 6 months. I was fat. Right? I gave it all back to the kids. Spending on the kids with the coach, for basketball, football, different things, throw party for them. It's about the kids. Pay kids fees to do gymnastics or play a basketball league or stuff like that.
This is way before they took your blankets.
Oh yeah. Yeah, way before they took my blanket. I didn't know they were ever going. I never did it back then. I never thought that would ever happen.
For people who don't know.
Oh, well, yeah.
Tell us about your blankets.
Well, my blankets doing time right now, if they haven't been destroyed. About 4, 5, maybe 6 years ago, my blanket was taken from me in front of the city county building November the 27th.
Your military blanket.
My military blanket and my sleeping bag. It's all was put under arrest, and they took them. I had to go to the VA, sleep at the VA that night, VA hospital that night, and had a warm bed, but I felt sorry for the rest of the people that were down there with me. But I still haven't got those blankets back.
How many years has that been? 6 now?
About 6 years, 6, 7 years now.
So you got housed in this time.
Yeah.
But you ain't got your blankets back.
Yeah, I got housing twice. Well, I had housing twice.
Well,
I still got it, but
yeah.
But other than that, no. It just, I just, me personally, I just don't know. I just don't know how anyone with a conscience can put up with this on a cold night like tonight, because this is ridiculous. That people are having nowhere to go, because there's some people here that have been kicked out of shelter. Period. Where are they gonna go? They're all intertwined. You get kicked out of one, you might as well say you kicked out all of them, and they got nowhere to go.
Oh, look at that. Somebody ordered pizza.
Somebody did. But it's just one of those things, man, to where we can do better than this, and we've been talking about this for about 5 years now, that we can do better, but we're not. And Mayor Hancock, I want to know where this money's going. You gave $18 million to three providers to provide what? Homelessness, the home distress, anxiety, pain, emotional distress, you're doing the suite 3 times a week. For what? For what? I thought that you gave the entity, the nonprofit, $18 million to house people, while we seeing the housing prices going up and the money going up, but the unhomeless people still houses. Something's wrong. Something's not computing with this situation, because this is ridiculous. That to have people here and that you're not doing anything for it. Before Denver became this big, high income city, these are some of the very people, parents or not, and some of them that were working here, that were living here, that kept this city afloat. And now all of a sudden, that we done got too big for our pants as far as making money and getting these $20 coffees and these $2 cups. That don't make sense, man. That don't make sense. But yet and still, the mayor would do a 4-hour, talking about he got a 3-year plan. What happened to the 5-year plan? Didn't work. What happened to the 5-year plan after that?
Wait, he's been in office for nearly 12 years here.
No, what they said it was, but now they say not. It must have been another cop going somewhere else. And now all of a sudden, in your last 3 years, you're talking about a 3-year plan. Then you post a job that you are picking that nobody seems to know that were ever posted. Talking about executive camp, safe outdoor space, camp program director. But no one, I called around, I only found out by luck. And I got ready to put in for it, and it's closed. What is wrong with that picture? If this is your way of paying another person that helped you get your 3rd term, if this is what you're looking out for, your friend, how can an unhoused person, a truly unhoused person, how can a house person that never been truly unhoused come up with solutions that is working, that will work for our unhoused neighbors?
I don't know. I'm gonna check on what's going on over here real quick. So just so we get lots of pizza. I have a mom just having these nice, gentle conversations. So we just have these conversations going on. We have tarps and awnings, and look at all this pie, people. Look at that. A good human being that I won't name for all that out, right?
No.
Get one of those right there like that.
My supervisor's supervisor. Okay. And he said, you guys are doing the right thing. I said,
It's just pie. There's people.
Hell yeah, what we got there, man?
Got 6 pizzas, man. What you get a slice?
Hell yeah, we
Sean got a slice.
Shit, I'm on the street too. I don't mind, man. Don't nobody like the cold weather.
Nobody likes the cold weather. Tell us, where
I
would
ain't
you
trying to
stay?
be on TV and all that.
Okay. Where would you be tonight if he wasn't here?
I ain't trying to, is that TV? I mean, the TV, I ain't trying to be on TV.
All right, cool.
Hey guys, there's pizza over here. If anybody's hungry, please help yourself.
Look at that. There's pizza. That's what they said. So, it's been 1 hour, folks. I should come in and say hi to you. I'm gonna have to pull an Eric Grant and charge my battery mid stream here. Who we got in here? Beware America, Blind Street. Oh, gotta love. Thank you. Sean's so excited with that pizza. Appreciate you donating in there. Him in love solidarity. You guys are having a good chat because I can't see what's going on. Doesn't that look like a dish to serve a king?
I'm not supposed to, but I'll eat anything. Alright, let's cheat. I'll just cheat.
I'm in this beautiful building. It's nice and warm. They have a pool in here. Nice pools. I wish we could use them a little bit more often. So the building's warm. It's kept warm because these pools are warm. It's not like they're going to shut the temperature down in this building to like 50 degrees overnight. And even that would be warmer than it is. It's like 10 outside. Right? So it's 9:57. The cops have been called, but they haven't shown up yet. And we're just hanging out with all the news crews, all the people. Look at that.
Pretty good.
Good stuff, huh? Blessings for the donations.
Do you know Fat Charlie? They're really good though.
Oh yeah, they're just down the street.
Really?
I'll tell you, they're all over the place. The cops are around the block. They're all outside the neighborhood. They're probably watching this live stream right now. Should we go find some? Should go look. I'm gonna go inquire. Stay warm, Sean. Oh my goodness! Look at that button! Look at that button! Everybody knows who that button is. It says "fuck bad cops." See? Come here. Hi there. Oh, look at you. You got a fucking break button on you, don't you? Oh, you do. So we're gonna go just see what's up. Allegedly, the building and the neighborhoods are surrounded. Almost looks like a news crew van. Oh, it is a news crew vehicle. Yeah. Drums are here. That's good. Yeah, we're at 28% battery life. I did not bring a battery back up, unfortunately. I did not. It's cold outside though, folks. You can see your own breath. So far, nobody's been spotted. That's East High School. I used to live just on the other side of the street over there. On the other side of that building. Yeah. Got the employee staff cars. There's 3 of them still here. Who wouldn't know? There's some cars in the parking lot. A van. Somebody's staying warm in their car. Little kid making a spit. I don't see anybody out here. Anyway, folks, appreciate you being out here. It's really kind of boring with the no policies coming out to bother us and harass us. And it's cold. Really cold. Just walking around the building, I'm starting to shiver. Of course, I don't have my jacket zipped up, but it's cold. So, that's what you need to know. We are here in Denver, the Carla Madison Rec Center. There are people inside staying warm and not dying tonight. Unicorn Riot is here, that's right. Derek, Robert. Nothing to see here, just saving some lives. Love you, Robert. Appreciate you so much. Right, as that woman said earlier, if one human stays alive, it's worth it. There's more news crews here. The city hasn't come up with any answers for bringing the unhoused off the streets and into the property. It's been an hour. So I think what we're going to do at this point, folks, yes, boring does seem good, and that's why I want to save my battery. I'm going to kill the power, and if anybody comes in an emergency setting, we'll have battery power to go live. All right? Oh, better get the drummer.
Probably close to frostbite, or just, you know, at any time in the night. It gets swept under the rug sometimes. You know, it's like it's an unsightly problem, and it's always split difference. But there's a lot of good people here that recognize what's going on and are willing to spend their time and be pulled themselves to, you know, support people that, you know, they don't even know. And I think that's very touching and sheds light on how important it is. If there's people that could be at their house tonight and want to be eating dinner and are choosing to be out here in the cold to try to help those that they don't even know, I think that alone shows, you know, both the kindness of the people that are trying to help and the seriousness of the issue. And yeah.
So how does it, especially on nights like this, where it's like so cold, there's places that are heated, not used. How is that damage done on you? I can't imagine.
So unfortunately, I assume you're talking about shelters. What they don't say is that if you're a couple, you can't go into shelters together for a couple. And unfortunately, that's harsh on women. There has been issues of sexual assault within the shelters. And if you're someone that has PTSD, you know, you don't want to really be separated from your partner. You know, and not just couples, but if you have a pet, if you have a support pet, you know, you can't get into the shelter, you know, with your pet. They ask you, you know, well, I don't know what they ask you to do, but they'll ask you to like separate from that. So it's like that's something that I feel that a lot of people say, oh, we'll just go to a shelter, it's warm, but they don't talk about, you know, the reasons why people don't go to shelters. You know, and a lot of times it's scary. I think we went to one time for like recently for dinner, and there's screaming and yelling, and it's scary sometimes, especially if you're a shelter.
And additionally, as far as like, you know, there's high-rise, you know, luxury apartments going up everywhere constantly, and it's like, from what I've heard, a large percent of them, you know, are going to go empty, perfectly carpeted, painted, everything ready to be lived in, but they would rather leave, I heard up to like 40% of units of newly made places in Denver empty rather than, you know, I don't know, you know, basically they would rather leave it empty.
Keep it expensive rather than lower the price to make people actually have affordable housing. Profit gain or whatever. But it's basically propagating the same issue of people going homeless, but there's all these apartments going on,
And additionally, with throughout the warmth of the cold, there's people that break into hotels, homes under construction, things like that, because they don't know what else to do. It's like right now, I don't give a shit if I go to jail. You can't think about the next day if you can't even think about if you're going to make it into that next day. So I've known and met people that have gotten, permanent charges on their record based on just trying to survive through the night. My brother actually was found in the Platte River 2 years ago because he was without shelter. Some things happened and he was epileptic. He had a seizure, fell into the river with no one there to help him, and wasn't found until 2 days later. And it's like, there's really serious consequences to this shit. It's like, we talk about people being cold and it's like, people don't fucking warm up. Excuse my language, but it's like, there's circumstances, you see people in wheelchairs that, sometimes people don't even, shoulder the sidewalk. So it's like, I have a difficulty getting around, when it's icy and things like this, but I can't imagine for people with, disabilities of old age, things like that. It's like, it literally breaks my heart watching these people struggle for 20 minutes to get across one street while they're clearly freezing, holding everything they own on their back. It's like, it's heartbreaking, but it's really sweet to see that there's actually people around here, and I've always known that there are plenty of people that care and love everybody around them, but once again, it's a difficult issue, and I understand that, so, I don't know.
It's a difficult issue, but it's not a difficult issue to actually talk about. It shouldn't be hard to care. You shouldn't have to be homeless to care about somebody else that's homeless. We're all human. There's people dying out here. So it's like actually seeing people that care about us, on the human basis, it's really beautiful to us.
I talked to the councilwoman there. She's in there.
Okay, folks, we're gonna let this go. My phone's at 20% and dying faster. There's people out here. It's beautiful. We'll talk to you soon. I really are. Gato Love, thank you. Robert, we'll talk to y'all soon.
We've just tried to keep to a routine where both recovered and